Joining us now is Ope with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Good morning, Dr.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm cheerful today. Good morning.
Good morning, Oji. How are you?
Good,
Thank you. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending today in Kano State, Nigeria, where there has been recent reports of large number of deaths in the state, which has not been attributed to any ailment. As the cases of coronavirus continue to rise in the state, residents have raised concern. A report from the National Television Authority about the unexplained fatality in the state has now gone viral. Let's take a look.
In Kano metropolis is quite alarming, though there is no official record on the number of fatalities. But in Koji quarters alone, more than 70 people have died in 2 days. Most of the casualties are reported to be elderly.
They brought a number of remains of people amounting to 70 in this cemetery. We buried 20 people this morning. In fact, the undertakers pleaded with us that work is too much for them, as more are coming.
The situation at the Tarauni Cemetery, another suburb in Kano metropolis, the story is the same, as 40 people were reportedly buried, while at that of Dandolo recorded 35. All these incidences occurred within 2 or 3 days. This ugly trend is raising concern among the medical experts on the causes of such tragedy.
Well, let's take some reactions before we go into a discussion. On Twitter, one user, Mary, wrote, "This is terrifying. Up to this number of citizens died within 3 days, and the government has not done anything to establish the cause of these deaths. If it's coronavirus and they are being buried by normal people, then we're heading to a worse situation." Another user wrote, "It's very worrisome that most of these people may not have been in any hospital. Even more worrisome is the fact that the bodies are being buried in a hurry, in line with Islamic teachings. The government must, as a matter of urgency, get to the root of these extraordinary numbers." Another user, Ogbaje, wrote, "What's going on in Kano State? Did you see the video going around on social media where someone from maybe Kano washed his hand in a bowl of water, then drank the same water?" Let's take a quick look at that video if we have it.
Extremely terrifying. I'm really sad because it shows, if I use your word, Dr. Abati, a cocktail of things. Really and truly is what we're seeing here. A mixture of a lack of education, a lack of sensitization, and a lack of finding the root problems to a serious, or the root cause to a serious problem here. These are unusual deaths. And like we said earlier on in the show, the symptoms that we're being told are being found in these patients or people who have passed away are symptoms that are very closely related to a lot of deaths related to COVID-19 around the world. Hypertension, diabetes, underlying health conditions that simply cannot actually fight the virus or allow your immune system to do so. Like Doctor also said, Kano is so populated like Lagos is. So seeing a video like that where you see someone using the same water that he used to wash his hands to drink and also rub it on his body, you know that we have a serious problem at hand. Because if, God forbid, there is an outbreak on such a huge scale in a city or in even a state like Kano, I'm sorry to say, but Nigeria is going to be in huge trouble. They don't have the capacity to fight coronavirus. This isn't a joke.
Well, I think the first thing to say is that one obvious lesson with Kano is that nobody, either state government or an individual, should take anything for granted with regard to COVID-19. Vigilance is what is required. Kano recorded its first index case on April 11. By Monday this week, the figures had increased to 59. Now, within a space of 2 days, that number has jumped to 73. And now we're getting reports that in the last 4 days alone, there have been so many burials that even people working in the various cemeteries are overwhelmed and overworked because they've not seen that rate, that death rate previously. Now, it's a good thing, however, that the federal government, the Presidential Task Force, is saying that it will investigate what is happening in Kano to be able to have a scientific basis for its intervention.
It's a matter of emergency.
And the state governor has also called for help. And indeed, Kano State needs help. Now, help with regard to public sensitization.
Which is number one.
Because the gentleman who washed his hand in the bowl of water and thought that if he drank the water, that would be an antidote against
no, he was making a joke, actually.
He
was making a joke.
If it is a joke, but he was probably speaking out of ignorance. Because when you say he's making a joke, you may be assuming that he understands the implications of what he's doing. So, and there may be more people like that who are completely ignorant.
Absolutely.
Or they've been misled.
Do we not hear Toyota virus?
Who need to be properly educated. Yes, that's true. There was one video in which one man was referring to COVID-19 or coronavirus as Toyota virus.
And the virus was attached to the air conditioning of the car.
No, as far as he was concerned, there is a car called Toyota Corona. And it's only when you ride a Toyota Corona
that you can catch the virus.
That you can get the virus through the AC. Now, there are people out there.
And he was serious, actually.
Yeah, he was very serious about it. So a lot of public sensitization. Kakovid, which is a private sector coalition in Nigeria against COVID-19, has promised to set up one of its 6 major isolation centers in Kano. I think they should move quickly. They've started constructing the one in Lagos. We would like to see, quick action in that direction also in Kano.
They may need more than
Kano now, needs help. Now, we're told that we don't have more than 300 critical case doctors and nurses in Nigeria. That's unfortunate. They may also need help with medical personnel in Kano, whether they are critical case managers or just infectious diseases specialists who can go to Kano also and help. Because Kano and Lagos seem to have emerged as the main epicenters in Nigeria.
Yes, and obviously there was reports about vaccines that were being hawked in Kano as well.
Yes, we addressed that earlier, a yellow substance that they call a COVID-19 vaccine.
And these people are taking it and believing that it does work. So it's, like you said, sensitization is the most important thing right now in Kano.
And communication, because Doctor also said earlier, he was like, Ramadan is coming up in just a matter of days. You need to let the people know what the policies are and what the guidelines are going to be from now, not 24 hours before.
Absolutely.
Because people may just say, oh, it's Ramadan. You cannot stop us from observing religious and cultural traditions. Now, we need to start the enlightenment now, and the Presidential Task Force should make a statement on how people should behave during Ramadan.
And the burial, I mean, I believe that, it's supposed to be in accordance with Islamic rites. But apparently it is quite worrisome for a lot of people to know that, like the guidelines have said, to wrap a corpse, you have to wrap it twice, make sure that it's in a sealed coffin before you bury it. So these are the issues that has to be raised as well and has to be addressed in cases of coronavirus corpse and how to treat coronavirus corpse. The enlightenment needs to be there in Kano State as well.
Certainly, although there is, like we said yesterday as well on the show, there's no proof yet to show that coronavirus bodies or corpses.
But the guidelines are how to treat the corpse.
We do need
you
them.
Have to decontaminate the corpse. You have to decontaminate the corpse. You have to double bag it and bury it in a sealed coffin.
You're right. There is a conflict there.
Yes.
You're right.
So I don't know. And these are the issues that we all have to rate. Well, let's head over to Madagascar now, where the country's president, Andry Rajoelina, has officially launched a local herbal remedy to prevent and cure the novel coronavirus. The president claims the remedy, which is a herbal tea he calls COVID Organics, gives results in 7 days. He added that the tea was derived from a plant with proven efficacy in malaria treatment and will be used as prophylaxis. However, according to the Director General of the Malagasy Institute of Applied Research, which actually developed the beverage, clinical observations have shown a trend towards effectiveness in curative treatment. While unveiling the remedy on Tuesday, the president drank a dose, stating, in quote, "I will be the first to drink this today in front of you to show you that this product cures and does not kill." I mean, we don't have a thought for that.
Well, I think, you know, Madagascar has had 121 cases of COVID-19 and no fatality yet. But now what we're dealing with is the president getting involved in the search for a cure through the Malagasy Institute for Applied Research. And they've come up with this herbal tea. The herbal tea is made from a plant called Artemisa.
Yes.
That's the name of the particular plant that he claims has been effective in the treatment of malaria. But this could be very misleading. Because the drink itself has not been subjected to any kind of scientific tests. So the president of Madagascar, he wants his people to be drinking herbal tea. Well, he just, as I said earlier, leaders must always follow the science. And this should be tested internationally. It should be, if it is the scientists in Madagascar that have come up with it, okay, the formula that they have used, has it been peer-reviewed? Because that's the procedure in science. You know, it will be peer-reviewed, it will be tested. But to just, deploy the entire nation on a tea-drinking bench, you know, it would be a very ridiculous thing, in my view.
No, absolutely.
He says it's a prophylaxis, you know.
Yes, it's just
so
for,
it's preventive.
So
he has to make it, they have to be very clear. You know, is it a prophylaxis or a cure? You know, in order not to give the people, in order not to give the people false hope.
I mean,
you know, the figure is 121 now in Madagascar. If they mislead the people, we can see an escalation in the number of COVID-19 cases.
Everywhere
extremely misleading, and something that I also think is of great concern here with a lot of leaders that are coming out now with herbal remedies and promoting them is I think they're actually doing everybody a disfavor, because we are people who actually advocate for the use of herbal remedies. But when you go about shouting and advocating for herbal remedies as a cure to a virus that no one knows anything about, what you're actually doing is debunking a lot of the value that actually lies in herbal remedies. That's just my take on it.
This is almost as bad as the case of Mike Sonto, the governor of Nairobi in Kenya, you know, who said he was giving out food packages and he had taken the decision to include a small bottle of NSC in the food
No, that was the worst. I think that still tops the list.
The manufacturers of NSC had to come out to say, look, the NSC gene is not a solution for COVID-19. If the governor wants everybody in the state to get drunk, that as state policy, he can produce a state of drunkards, but they should not use their brand.
No, that was
But this president has even gone further to package the herbal tea. Remember, we took the same story with the Oni of Ife, who actually also has his own treatments for COVID-19. So, but the U.S. has also warned that, you know, these things might even be more dangerous, you know, than helpful in any case. So everyone should just try to stay away from these things.
And to be honest with you, patent any idea that you have, whether or not it's one that people buy into right now or they don't, patent it, because if not, the West is going to come. They're going to steal your herbal ideas. They are going to patent it like they did with turmeric to the Indians, etc., and then you're going to be complaining after. So instead of coming out and shouting about those remedies now, patent them and let us have them in the future. That's what I say.
Well,
all right.
If there was no lockdown, we probably would have loved to go to Madagascar to drink...
to try that
the tea.
COVID organic, prevent myself from catching coronavirus.
Well,
why
but,
not?
I mean, it's not proven yet.
No, yes, it's funny. Should we take our final story if we can?
Thing.
Well,
yes,
this is, you know, it's just a recovery story. I always love these types of stories.
I love when you bring them.
Yes, breath of fresh air. Let's take our final story in Italy, where a 104-year-old Italian woman recovered from coronavirus, actually making her maybe the oldest known survivor. Ada Zanuso tested positive for the virus in a nursing home in March, where 20 elderly residents had died from the virus. Zanuso, who also survived the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, made full recovery in the first week of April. Doctors think that she is the oldest person in the world to recover, just beating William Bill Lapicius, an American veteran who recovered in time to celebrate his 104th birthday.
Love
well,
this.
Recovery is a great joy, and it's also a sign of great hope.
Correct.
And she's not the only person above 100 that has recovered.
Correct.
You know, but let's have hope.
Let's have hope. And you know, Italy was one of the, you know, is one of the hardest hit countries with the virus, and just knowing that she's from there.
Anyway, thank you,
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.